Nitamandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmalatam Yani Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkest ignorance, and my spiritual master has kindly opened my eyes for shining torchlight of transient knowledge. I therefore offer my respectful obeisances to his lotus feet. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Okay, we're reading from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 8, entitled Attaining the Supreme, text number 6. It's a very, yeah, what's that?
6 already done.
Oh, we already did 6. You sure? I know we did 5. Okay, we did 6 as well.
Yes.
Okay.
I've got mark there. You know this mark?
Yeah.
Yeah, the mark of the Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah.
So this was 7. So that's
okay.
the.
Oh, okay. Okay. Now that's all good. That's all good.
6 then. That's what the 7.
Yeah. So yeah, text 6 was saying that whatever we remember at the time of death, that's going to determine where we go in our next life.
Yeah.
So yeah, if we remember Krishna, then we'll go to Krishna. If we remember something else, we'll go somewhere else.
And like then he said, mentioned that if somebody said that on the last time that if I don't remember, and the Krishna said that I will remember.
Yeah. That's our insurance policy. That's our insurance policy.
If you don't remember, Krishna will remember. And
yeah.
if the Krishna remember, that's a guarantee.
Yeah. And that's a very good reason why we should do as much bhakti as we can in this life. So Krishna will be pleased. You know, Krishna will be pleased with the bhakti we do. And if he's pleased with us, then he'll take care of us at that time, which is the most crucial time, at that time of death, and help us to, in our transition, to go back to Godhead. Okay, so text 7. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu.
Tatma sarveshu kaleshu.
Mamanusmarayudhyacha.
Mamanusarayudhyacha.
Maya pita manobuddhir.
Maya pita manobuddhi.
Mammeva shamshayaha.
Mammeva samshaya. Therefore, Arjuna, you should always think of me in the form of Krishna, and at the same time carry out your prescribed duty of fighting. With your activities dedicated to me and your mind and intelligence fixed on me, you will attain me without doubt. That's the Krishna's promise.
Yes, without a doubt. Yeah. So there are many different forms of God that we could think of, isn't it? So many avatars, so many incarnations. We could think of Rama, we could think of Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Nrsimha, like that. But here, Krishna is recommending to think of the Lord in the form of Krishna, to think of Krishna. Not just think of any form, but especially we should think of Krishna while we're doing our different activities, because Krishna is the source of all incarnations. There's many incarnations, but in the Bhagavatam, there's one verse saying, Ete chamsa kala pumsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam Indraya Vyakalam Lokam Murdiyanti Yuga Yuga. So that's saying that of all the incarnations which were previously mentioned, because in that chapter, this is the third chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, the first canto. There's many incarnations mentioned in that chapter. And then at the end of describing all those incarnations, like Kurma, Varaha, Matsya, like that Varaha, then it's mentioned that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. He's the original Bhagavan. Swayam is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead. And all the other incarnations are amsa. Amsa means part, or kala means, I think, part of a part. A expansion of an expansion. So like that. So they're portions or portion of the portion, like that. So, but Krishna is the original, and he is the supreme. He's the source of all of our incarnations. Actually, technically speaking, this form of Krishna is not even regarded as a, how to say, he's not regarded as an avatar, because he's regarded as avatari. So avatari means he's the source of the avatars. So Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Nrsimha, Vamana, like that, they're avatars. But Krishna is the source of all the avatars, like that. So of course, Hanuman, for example, you'd struggle to get Hanuman to think of Krishna. Hanuman is always thinking of Ram. You know, so that's also there. That's something like Prahlad. You know, Prahlad is thinking of the form of Nrsimha, and Hanuman is thinking of the form of Rama. So that's also natural, because they have some particular attachment to one form. So they're going to stick to that form, and they're not going to think of other forms. However, in our case, we are followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We are Gaudiya Vaishnavas, followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by his example, he's always thinking of Krishna. He's always thinking of Krishna. And we should follow his example. And I would say, you know, because we have somehow or other ended up in this ISKCON movement, which is a branch of the Gaudiya Vaishnav Sampradaya, then I would say that's our most important Istadev, or worshipful deity, is Krishna. Otherwise, we could have been, you know, attracted to some other movement that was following Ram, or following, you know, some other, you know, incarnation like that. But the very fact that we've ended up as a follower of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu indicates that that's our natural position, to be a devotee of Krishna. So that's the recommendation. We should specifically focus on Krishna. We don't want to divide our consciousness too much. I mean, how many things can you think of at the same time?
Oh, one thing only you can think of.
That's right.
Only one thing at a time. At one, then you can think for other.
Yeah.
Think two.
At the same time, you can't think of more than one thing, you know. So we should focus on Krishna. And I was just looking at a verse about that, how bhakti should not be divided. So that means bhakti means love, you know. So you don't want to divide your love, you know. Like if you said, you know, I love this woman on Mondays, and I love that woman, a different woman on Tuesdays, and another woman on Wednesdays. Maybe I better be careful. Jayanti's right here with me. But no, you can't divide the love, you know. You just love one person. She's not looking very impressed at me at the moment.
What about mother? Mother can divide the love if she got rich.
Hey, your voice is getting a bit scrambled. Just say that again.
Now, the mother can divide her love if she got 3 children.
Yeah.
She can't just love one. can
True.
be divided into three. So
True.
like same like a Krishna divided to millions of them. So like we can stick to only one, which is Krishna, but
Yeah, well, I mean, Krishna's capacity to love is unlimited, whereas our capacity to love is limited.
of course.
So yeah, we both qualitatively we're the same. Krishna has a propensity to love, and we also have a propensity to love. The difference is in quantity. So he's got unlimited. He can love unlimitedly, and we have limited love. So we should focus it like that. But even in Krishna's case, the maximum love that Krishna's focusing on Radharani. Krishna's love for Radharani is not that same love is not there for any other devotee. It's maximum attraction and Krishna's always thinking about Radharani, and he's always thinking about the residents of Vrindavan. Krishna thinks more about the residents of Vrindavan than he thinks about the souls in the material world.
Radharani is Krishna's feminine energy. It's like he loving himself.
You could say that, but there's also a difference. She has her own unique personality. I mean, everything comes from Krishna, but at the same time, there is some variety there. There is some variety there. Otherwise, it's said that why did Krishna assume the form of Lord Chaitanya? One of the reasons is because he couldn't understand from his position as Krishna why Radharani loves him so much. Now, if Radharani is Krishna, then Krishna wouldn't have any trouble to understand, why Radharani loves Krishna so much. But the very fact that he couldn't understand the greatness of Radharani's love for him indicates that there is something, there is some individuality about Radharani which is separate from Krishna. Does that make sense? So like that, we're personalists. We're not impersonalists. So in one sense, everything's one. Yeah, everything comes from Krishna. But in another sense, everything's different. There's so many varieties, and Krishna enjoys that. So it would be boring. Imagine if you could expand yourself into 100 gulshans, but that would be boring if they're all the same, right? You know what I mean? So that's why Krishna expands himself into personalities that are different from him. They're not the same. They're not the same. They're different, and Krishna enjoys that variety. Does that make sense? You want to say something about that?
It's like sometimes Krishna give it a free will, and then he want to see. It's like my devotee, how much he loves me,
yeah,
and how extreme he can go in a love with me. Some they are crying, or some they are like any dancing or things like that. So Krishna given that the free will depends what kind of feeling he's got towards me, and then he can see he's residing inside everyone in the very suksham, but he still sit on the sideline to see. It's how much he's how far he's going that to I was watching a clip for Radhanath Swami today that in Mayapur there. So it's how far he traveled in order to love Krishna. How much situation he's gone through. I read in the book and all the things there. So Krishna obviously can see that, okay, I give you Gulshan, Abhay Prabhu or Jayanti, let's see how far they can go. And then based on that, Krishna can see. He come that extreme. That's why he when the his childhood friend he visit there has got nothing. What's his called this name?
Sudama.
Broken rice. Yeah,
Sudama.
Sudama. Yeah, so he could have to help Sudama. He knew that Sudama's situation, but he wanted to see that how much love he's coming there to his place and bring that broken rice in there, and then he started to melt and think. So he gave it one free will, and then he just stand on the sideline and to see how much the devotees, it's like, initiating that to reach to me. And then I guess that will be the thing there. Yeah, I understand what exactly you're saying, but it's up to us how much endeavor we can do.
Yeah.
If you want to make a tea, how much jaggery you want to put, it's gonna get sweeter and sweeter and sweeter.
Yeah.
So how much time we can give it, and then the Krishna will say yes, that, and then we end up with there, I guess.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we are like, too much in ego, my house, my car, my wife, my children. It's like if anyone come to this
spread the love out too much, then the quality of their love goes down. You love you love your cats and you love your dogs and you love the friends.
Like it's like if the neighbor's daughter become a lawyer, and I say, oh yeah, plenty lawyer there. When my daughter become a lawyer, I feel like, oh yes, it's just different feeling. It's inevitable, unavoidable. I mean, you cannot say that, oh yeah, my daughter or the neighbor's girls become a lawyer, who cares? No, it definitely, whoever come on this earth has to have this kind of feeling. I mean, it's only except Krishna and Rama, they're the avatar, but any human, even your daughter, if she become an architect and there is a neighbor's daughter or maybe 20 architects there passed out in this year, university, you can see in the news, you say, yeah, 20 architect, yeah. When your daughter become an architect, you will watch the news with the open eyes. Definitely. It's because you come to the planet Earth. Yeah. Anyone come in this planet Earth, that attachment is there. That's what I think. You cannot leave this kind of attachment. It's there.
Yeah, but the purpose of bhakti is we want to focus that. So instead of being, branching out our love and attachment to 100 things or 10 things, we focus it on one, just on Krishna. The main focus is Krishna. And obviously, if you do divide it, then then that intensity is less. Say, for example, say I have love for 10 people. Well, let's say 12 people. And there's 24 hours in the day. So that means I'll be able to spend 2 hours for each person, right?
Yeah.
But if you love 6 people, then there'll be 4 hours for each person. Or, three people, that 8 hours for each person. One person, that 24 hours.
Yeah.
So let's look at a verse, 13th chapter. This is the one I was looking at earlier today that was reminding me about this. There's a string of verses together, 8 to 12.
Yeah.
13th chapter, 8 to 12.
Yeah.
So let's look at this is. This is
26 qualities.
Well, not that, but this is the process of knowledge. This is what knowledge means. And at the end of it, Krishna says that all these I declare to be knowledge, and besides this, whatever there may be is ignorance. Okay. But one of the verses, let's see, it's the fourth one down, Mai chanyena yogena bhaktir vyavacharani. So this Mai chanyena yogena, let's look at that. And then in the English translation, what that means is constant and unalloyed devotion to me. So that's what that is.
Okay.
Constant, unalloyed devotion to me. So if we look in the word for word, Mai means unto me, cha also, ananya yogina, by unalloyed devotional service. Bhakti, devotion, avyabhicharani, without any break. So just
it's like if you and me, if we're not married and we don't have a children, do you think we can put all 100% to Krishna? Because we got married and children, we cannot put it 100% to Krishna. If we're saying it means we are lying.
I wouldn't agree with that. And there's one bhajan, and I'll give you some explanation. One bhajan by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, right? And Bhaktivinoda Thakur had one wife and 10 children, right? One wife, 10 children.
Yeah.
So because he had a wife and 10 children, does that mean he wasn't able to have pure, unalloyed love for Krishna? No, it wasn't. And what he said was in one of his bhajans is that now that I'm surrendered to you, I am going to continue my relationship with my wife and children only because of their connection with you. So it means he's saying that I'm going to maintain this relationship with my wife and children because they're your parts and parcels, because they're your devotees. This wife, these children, they're your devotees. So I'm going to continue my relationship with them only because of that connection, because of that relationship. So because of the devotee's love for Krishna, that's why he continues that relationship with the wife. Because of his love for Krishna, that's why he continues that relationship with the children. So the central point, even of the relationship between husband and wife or the father and children, is, can be just completely centered around Krishna, for Krishna's pleasure.
That's why Prabhupada left his wife, because she was not a devotee.
Yeah, she had become like an obstacle to Krishna's service.
Okay.
An obstacle to Krishna's service. But if the wife and children are, they're all favorable to devotional service like that, then that relationship can be continued, and it's still regarded as devotional service. It's still just like even someone, a devotee might be a brahmachari or a sannyasi, but he has a computer, he has a mobile phone. Is that weakening his love for Krishna because he has a relationship with a phone and a laptop, and he might have a car and a house and so forth? No. And he might have money, because he has money. Is that going to dilute his love for Krishna? Not necessarily. It might do, but if he's using that money for Krishna's pleasure, that's part of his love for Krishna. So because he loves Krishna, he uses the money for Krishna. Because he loves Krishna, he uses the phone and the laptop for Krishna. He uses the car for Krishna and the house for Krishna. So not necessarily that, just because we have a relationship with other things, that's going to divide our love for Krishna. It might do, but not necessarily. But if the
Jayanti got sick, so your attention will divert to, like, what we're gonna do if she, for example, she hospitalized or things like that, and then she's in ICU. You couldn't get up in the Mangalarti and change the, making the prasada for Krishna. So your intention and thinking of you can't say that, oh, let her die, I have to do Mangalarti, I have to be dressed to Krishna, make the prasada for that. You can't do that.
Yeah, but are you seeing the wife as separate from Krishna's service, or are you seeing the wife as part of Krishna's service? I mean, what if your guru gets sick? If you go and serve your guru in the hospital, is that separate from your devotional service?
No, a guru is like representative of Krishna, It's like
But
if you don't serve your guru, you can't serve.
Isn't the wife and children also representative of Krishna?
Okay, so if they are representative of Krishna, it means you are helping a
But
Krishna devotee.
how are you seeing them? That is the point. How are you seeing them?
But what about if you see everyone is a Krishna's devotee?
Exactly.
No matter
Exactly.
100 people in the
I'll
temple.
give you another example. You know Jagannath Das Babaji, right? Jagannath Das Babaji, he's in our session. Yeah. He's the guru of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, right? Now, one time, or many times, but one particular time, some dogs in Vrindavan, some dogs were eating the prasadam of Jagannath Das Babaji. They were eating the food off his plate. And his servant was horrified that these dogs were eating the food meant for his guru. So he scared them away with a stick. He scared them away. And when Jagannath Das Babaji saw that the servant chased him away, he said, I'm going to fast. I'm not going to eat until you bring the dogs back.
Oh.
Because he was seeing these dogs are devotees of Krishna. So it's all about how do you see it. It's not about what it is. Is it a dog? Is it your wife? Is it your guru? No, but they're all different things, okay? But are you seeing them connected to Krishna or separate from Krishna? If you see them separate from Krishna, what do we call that? What do you call something separate from Krishna?
It's
Maya.
It's
Mayavadi.
Or...
Well, no, it's not Mayavadi, but it's Maya. It's illusion. Because nothing is separate from Krishna. You know, everything has a relationship with Krishna. The money has a relationship with Krishna. Is money good or bad? It's not good or bad. It's how you use it. If you use money to build a temple for Vishnu, that's your ticket back to Godhead. If you use money in the casino, that's your ticket to hell. You know, so are you using it in Krishna consciousness and Krishna service? You know, that's part of your bhakti. You know, and if you use it separate from Krishna's service, then that's Maya, that's illusion, like that. So just because a devotee, you know, has a relationship with family members or whatever, money and business or whatever, it doesn't necessarily mean that that's going to dilute his love for Krishna. It might do if he gets into Maya, then it might do. But if he like Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, I'm going to continue, now that I've surrendered to you, I'm going to continue my relationship with my wife and my children only because of their relationship to you, only because for your pleasure. I'm going to continue this relationship for your satisfaction, for your pleasure. So that's bhakti. That's bhakti. Of course, if you're seeing it in regards to my pleasure, that, you know, I have a relationship with my wife and children, money, so forth, for my satisfaction, and that's Maya. Then you're bhakti.
If your wife will keep asking to take me for shopping, and you don't have enough money, and you have to work hard for it, and because every week she need a new sari or things like that, and you thinking you are serving the Krishna's devotee, and then you're spending so much time working, and then you could not be spend time in a bhakti or mangalarti because you have to work hard, and then to be serving a devotee because your wife you can see as a devotee, and then she is doing a shopping left and right. How do you justify? Is that correct?
No, but yeah, I mean, if you become completely involved in just a slave to the job and working, that's not really a devotee. That we call that grihamedi. But grihasta means Krishna is the center of the family. But grihamedi means your sense gratification is the center. Actually, to be a devotee, you know, the wife has to be under control of the husband who's a devotee, right? So the husband, he's a servant of his guru, right? And the wife is a servant of the husband, right? So, but if the husband is a servant of the wife, it doesn't work like that. That's not the way it works. You know, then that's, and, you know, like the word is used, hen-pecked husband. So we don't want to be a hen-pecked husband. You know what that means? Hen-pecked husband.
Yeah.
You know, so we don't want to be a slave to the woman, but the husband who should be a pure devotee, and it keeps a relationship with the wife, and that they should be cooperating together, like the husband cooperates with his guru. He follows the guru's instructions, and the wife cooperates with the husband. And like with Prabhupada, like you mentioned, he said to her, tea or me, and she said tea. So she wasn't cooperating, and as soon as she wasn't cooperating, then it was like, see you later. But that was only possible after children was grown up. If the children are not grown up, then out of duty, you have to be there to look after the children. But after the children are grown up, then it's like it's a bit flexibility there. And
but it's even children grown here.
Now Jayanti's got something from the calendar.
Yeah, just a few days back he was saying the husband is the servant of the guru, and the wife is a sincere servant of the husband.
Yeah,
that is
that's the culture, that's the system. And the West and then the West often it's the woman is the boss, but then it doesn't work. Then the spiritual life goes, you know, to kitchery. It's all mixed up like that. So
but khichdi is good. I like it. So I was telling Kalya Prabhu, at least make khichdi for the holy, because those who doesn't want that, you know, they want prasadam, and like, you know, there's a samosa and there's someone bringing a barbecue as well, making a burger as well. So he said, oh no, we can't make a khichdi because otherwise everybody lined up for the khichdi, and like we have to make
people
a quantity.
Buy the other food,
Yeah, and then we have to make quantity for 1,500 people. Khichdi for 1,500 people. You know, how many pots do you need? So I said,
what you could do, in India, what I've seen in India, what they do, you know, they have the little leaf cup. It's a tiny cup. It's maybe what you would put in that leaf cup is only maybe half a cup. So if you gave everyone just a small bit of Mahaprasad, then it's not difficult. Or halva too, you know, sometimes they do with halva or khichdi, but you wouldn't have to produce such a huge amount if you give everyone that came up.
But do you
just half a cup?
Do you think that works? Do you think that works for the Indians? No.
No, it would, because Indians actually like that.
Yeah,
Indians like that. They like to get Mahaprasadam. Yeah. They like to get Mahaprasad. Even I've seen, even you give them just a tiny little morsel, they'll be very happy.
Actually,
to get a little bit of Mahaprasad.
Many times when we used to distribute in New Gokula, they used to come and say, they'll take all that prasadam which is there, and then they'll say, where's the Mahaprasad? They'll ask. Or else when they see halwa, they'll say, oh, here is Mahaprasad. So they don't understand everything is Mahaprasad, but they'll be thinking only halwa is Mahaprasad.
That's right. I remember that
one guy of Guruji.
Arrogant. I give it a one guy, like, you know, I've been allowed to give 2 puri per person. Yeah. And one guy I said, look, have you seen the line? The line is all the way to the toilet. Okay. So we give it a 2 puri, and he just having, like, I was at the rice, and there's another Mataji at the puri's counter. And he was yelling at, he said, I'm so hungry. I need a 4 puri. This is it. I said, listen, just relax. We got so how many lines there. We want everyone to have a puri. He having a go with that like he owned a temple. Like that. But everyone is looking that he raised his voice because he wants 4 puri. I said, okay, here you go, the 4 puri. I give him a 4 puri. But after that, I went to his table and sit down. I said, how you doing? And I find out he's from Punjab. And I said that, and he said, oh, in the Gurdwara, you know, you can eat as much as you like. They don't say like you have to have 1 roti or 3 roti or 5 roti, this. Yeah. And I was just listening. And I said, this is not, oh my God, this. And then after that, he said, his wife sitting outside. He was sitting in the dining area. Then I went to see his wife. I said, why not you sitting with the husband? He says, embarrassing me. Everybody looking at me. She took the children and sitting outside of the garden on the grass.
Right.
He said, he's embarrassing me. Like everybody looking at us like, we just have a fight with two puri. What's the big deal? Like, he's just anytime, anywhere you go, he's just having to go with that. He didn't have enough prasadam and things like that. I'm so sorry. I said, no, it's okay. Come inside. I'll bring wife inside and sit down in that. It was disaster. But anyway, it's one of the cases. It's not like all that. But that's a good idea. Have a little mahaprasadam, a khichdi in the cup.
Yeah, so you don't want to give them so much mahaprasadam that they get filled up on that, then they won't buy the other food. So you give them a little bit, so they're still going to look for some other food to fill them up. But at least they got a little bit of mahaprasad.
Yeah, Jayanti Mataji, not Jayanti, Jayashri Mataji said we're trying to generate some revenue for the temple. So that'll buy with the stalls and then no prasadam. I said, okay. But I was distributing the leaflet and I said, come here, free prasadam, have a Holi and the festival. And now they changed them.
Oh, you're misleading.
You better run away then. You don't be there.
A month ago was a different story. Now they changed. What can I do?
Yeah.
I mean, I said, well, wherever there, I'll be there. I said, look, I mistake, man. I just said a month ago, I was wrong. I'll admit. Because a month ago was a different story. Now they changed it. And that's still a dream. If they change something else, what am I going to do? It's not my fault.
Yeah.
But hopefully it's going to be fun.
So
we have 13, 14 volunteers there. And then, so we'll be having a good time, hopefully. And then I'll tell everyone like this, trying to get more Westerner people. So we try and put in all the public schools and libraries, petrol station, the places like where the Westerner will come. He said, don't focus on the Indians culture. They will come regardless anyway. Once they find out through the Facebook and they come, bring the whole family, but we want Westerners. I said, okay. I started putting that Bhaktimala, put a lot of posters into the schools and the swimming pools and all that.
Yeah.
So hopefully will turn out to be a good Western crowd, because as the Auckland temple has a lot of Western crowd, we got like a 99% Indian, maybe 1% Western crowd in New Gokula. So we're trying to get more Western crowd. Okay. Hopefully this time will work.
Nice.
I was thinking I can do a live telecast to you.
I can watch it later on in snippets because I'll probably be busy in the garden. Yeah.
Okay, that's right. I'll just make some video and send you. You can watch in your own time.
Yeah, you send me some videos later on, and I can just watch them whenever I'm at night time or something. In the daytime I'm busy, but at night time, then I'll come and have a look at those kind of things.
When's your next trip to Australia, Prabhuji?
I was actually thinking, because actually one of my godbrothers moved back from France. He moved back to Australia. He's in near to New Govardhan. Okay. So and I've got another godbrother there too, the one that brought me to ISKCON. So I've got two godbrothers there, both very dear to me, and they've helped me a lot in my life. So I'd love to go and offer my respects to them. So yeah, I'm thinking maybe maybe in a couple of months or something.
Oh, good, wonderful.
So
that'd be awesome.
So maybe, mate, I'm sure I could come to New Gokula also. Come for a little there. Yeah, so maybe in a couple of months.
We'll meet.
Yes, that'll be really nice. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so we should just focus our bhakti on one form of the Lord, and because we're in this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu followers, we should focus on this Krishna form. Focus on the Krishna form. Of course, we do celebrate, Nrsimha Chaturdashi and Ram Navami and these other days. So it's not that we don't read about them or never think about them, but our main focus is on Krishna. Our main devotion is to Krishna, and that's what Krishna here is also recommending Arjuna, to always think of me in the form of Krishna. And so you're thinking of Krishna, but does that mean that's all a devotee does in the material world? We just we just daydreaming and, you know, all day long about Krishna. No, we think about Krishna at the same time we do our prescribed duties. So this is very practical, because if Krishna instructed us to give up your work, just think of me and give up your work, but then how are we going to maintain our body? That's not going to work. So what we need to do is do all of our spiritual duties and material duties side by side. So it's like a railway track, like a train runs on two tracks, not one track, it has two. If it was just one, the train would tip over. So it's the same, you know. If you just do your spiritual duties but you don't do your material duties, then you're not going to be successful. And if you do your material duties but you don't do your spiritual duties, then that's a complete waste of time. Because if you just focus on your bodily necessities, working for that, then at the time of death, like what we're reading here, at the time of death, you're just going to think of some material things, and then you're going to come back again. So you're going to continue the cycle of birth and death. But if you just all the time like chanting Hare Krishna 24 hours a day and thinking of Krishna, but you're not doing any work to maintain your body, then how long are you going to chant for? Because in a short period of time, you're going to run out of food, and the landlord's going to kick you out because you're not paying the rent, you know, and so forth. You know, you need to do some things for maintaining your body. So this is very practical instruction from Krishna to be Krishna conscious, think of Krishna, at the same time do your work. And then you could say, well, but how's that possible? How is it possible to be doing your job and thinking of Krishna at the same time? Any ideas how that's possible?
If you, for example, if you put that clothes on a line, you're doing your work, but while you're chanting, you put the clothes on the line, or folding your clothes, or making a prasadam, or cleaning the house, anything while driving there. If I don't really associate with the passenger much until he asks any question. I'm just keep chanting and driving.
Yeah.
So I've got to drive to the destination to get the money and pay my rent. But I've got an option there. Will I be chanting driving, or I can drive without chanting? So sometimes I just even my mantra will roll onto a different words, because I just too busy looking on the road and the traffic light. And it doesn't matter, but at least there. But it doesn't apply in all the situation. Like Narendra, he has to IT work. He has to glue to the screen or the computer. He can't do while concentrating on the screen. He's a project manager and at the same time chanting.
Sure.
So he probably would do it in a, because for me it's easy. Like while I'm serving in the Bhakti tree, you know, I could keep chanting in like not in the loud, just inside my mouth, in my brain. Yeah. While I'm serving the halwa or cleaning the floor or things like that, even cleaning my car. But it doesn't apply in everyone's case that. But I don't know how they maintain. Like people like Narendra, he be only time when he off the computer, then he can chant. For me, I'm kind of a retired person. I can chant anytime. Like last time, like I don't. Now I'm taking another medicine. I want to show you one medicine I'm taking. That 1 minute.
Yeah.
It's this one. I don't know if we can see that. So Helmete.
Never heard of it. What is that for?
It's like a homeopathic medicine, but I got it from chemist for prostate. And it's made of the like a wild berry, and then it's mentioned there's only 3 ingredients in there, and all their normal ingredients. And I heard about a lot. Last night, 10 o'clock, 9:30, 9:45, I want to go to bed and I feel thirsty. I have 1 cup of water. So 10 o'clock I went to bed, and next morning till 5 o'clock I went to toilet 8 times. Every hour. Every hour.
To pee, to pass water.
Yeah. And then I just, after 4 o'clock, I don't drink any water at all. But last night it was quite warm. What can I do? I'm thirsty. Just had a small cup of water. I went to 8 times. So I'm taking this medicine. Hope this kind of help there. But if this one doesn't help, then I give up everything. It's okay. That's Krishna decided me to live it like that. But the funny thing is, every hour I went there at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. I said, Bhagavad, I'm not going to sleep. Sick of it. So, but the funny thing is, every time I go to pee, I went to bed. Within 30 seconds, I fall asleep. And then next day, like today, I'm not tired at all.
Yeah.
Drive in the morning, went to Bhakti Tree, now in the class, now again go to Bhakti Tree. It's 10, 12 hours work, no problem at all. But going there, it's just like, I don't know, what is that? Is that maybe Krishna designed that, or whatever the reason would be? But the reason for my call is that, like, why did I call that? I went there to, if you haven't heard about it, but somebody told me, a devotee, he said that's a homeopathic, and you can try this. Hopefully, I'll get the benefit of that. This is my last source of that. After that, I'm done. Whatever's happened. And like he says, if you don't drink enough water, night time, it's like we got 70% water in your blood getting thicker.
Yeah.
And then you'll be your heart will be struggling.
Right.
Because the blood getting thicker.
Yeah.
Because of you are avoiding to going to the visit to the toilet, you don't drink enough water, and you end up die with a heart attack or something like,
Sure. Yeah. Didn't you find that putting a bit of calendula oil in the milk helped you?
Twice, the whole 50 ml, I had 2 bottles finished, and I thought, okay, doesn't happen. Then
was it helping though? Was it helping when you were taking the calendula oil? No.
Methi seed as well. I did that. Put in the water nighttime. Next morning, drinking the methi seed water, and even when they're to India, that to Kerala as well, but not really. So now Mahatsevak, it's one of the chef. He said that try this, is really good. So I'm trying this one, and if it happen. If it doesn't, I'm all Krishna's will.
Yes.
And can you imagine? I wake up around 8, 9 times last night. Still, I'm full of strength. What happened if I sleep 6, 7 hours? How much strength will I have?
No, Krishna's taking care of you, whatever the situation. Yeah. But yeah, just a little example to help us understand how we can do our material duties and at the same time think of Krishna. Prabhupada tells about what Rupa Goswami gave one analogy to help us understand that, how we can do our spiritual and material duties same time. He said, just like Rupa Goswami says, just like a woman that has a paramour, so that means a woman that's married, she has a husband, but she has a paramour, means like a secret boyfriend, like that she has a strong attachment to the boyfriend, or she's always thinking about her paramour, but she does her prescribed duties to her husband very nicely, very carefully, so that the husband will not suspect that she's doing any funny hanky-panky business on the side. So she's doing her duties very nicely. And so that's the example Rupa Goswami gives of how you can be in the material world, do your duties very nicely, but deep down in your heart, you're always thinking of Krishna. But Prabhupada mentions there has to be a strong sense of love. It's otherwise not possible. Because, like, for example, that woman has some, you could say, attachment or love for that boyfriend. Therefore, she can think of him all the time while she's cleaning the house, while she's cooking for her husband, while she's, doing all her chores. She's thinking of the boyfriend because love is there. So in the same way, we can always think of Krishna while we're working if, there's a lot of love there. So that should be the condition. Otherwise, if there's not much love for Krishna, then yeah, it's going to be very difficult to always think of Krishna. I think the screen has frozen, so I think our 1 hour is up. Let's sign out and sign back in again.